JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 11th of December 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, some of the charts that we looked at yesterday, just to see how everything is getting along. And to be honest, there are a few interesting moves out there. So yeah, guys, before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our or actually not mentioning, but yeah, quick read through our risk disclaimers. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then guys, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts, there are a few interesting instruments that I would like to go through very quickly. So yep, guys, keep your eyes on this on the chart. Now the first one, of course, is Nikkei 225. Quick update here. Not much has changed. Still the same idea kind of remains. I need to see that nice, good daily close above this 26,890 zone in order to get comfortable with the upside again. So as you can see, of course, the index is already closed for this week. Let's have a look at the weekly candle and where it ended up. Yep, it ended up slightly in the red, guys. However, it did try to move below the low of last week, but it did move so, but it wasn't kind of able to remain below it. So in a way, we're still stuck in this little kind of area between the 26,400 level here and the 26,890 level. So yep, for now, basically we'll keep this for next week, and hopefully we can get out of this little range, and then yeah, we'll take it from there, guys. But for now, probably, well, I mean, yep, we're done with Nikkei for this week. So for next week, I'm keeping an eye on these two levels. Shanghai Composite also finished for today and for this week, and yeah, so basically drifted lower. Unlike its Japanese counterpart, the Shanghai Composite did kind of end up with a larger loss, I would say, and yep, it drifted back down here, and in a way it kind of worked out nicely in terms of some of these levels that I talked about previously. So what I was saying, that if we get a drop below the 3,387 territory, if we see the daily candle remaining below this area, then yep, further declines are possible, and where we're going to aim for this 3,326 territory. And look at this beautiful move, guys. I mean, just level to level, that's what happened here, and the nice move here to the downside. Yeah, everything according to the plan here. So yeah, I'll take that. It's a wonderful result. And yeah, we drifted below this area. First of all, we stayed below this area, as you can see. Yesterday, the index tried to recover, but failed to move back above this 3,387 territory. And then you can see today we had another reversal here from these highs, and then moved towards this level here that I was targeting. So didn't really quite reach this upside line, but to be honest, maybe this is something for next week. So let's see how this is going to play out. However, now what I'm going to keep an eye on here is a possible scenario of this, where if the the index drifts lower, but let's say struggles to overcome this upside support line drawn from the low of the 19th of March here, then yep, we could see a nice rebound and a push higher. But if that gets broken, the price might be placed below this hurdle right here, this 3,292 territory, which is marked near the low of the 6th of November and the 13th of November. At the same time, if we get a drop below this area, the price would be placed below the 100-day EMA, and more sellers kind of could join in. So keep your eyes on this one. Let me just quickly put an arrow here for our future reference. So that's going to be the scenario that I'm going to be keeping an eye on if this upside line gets broken. Now, German DAX. Here, basically, the index drifted lower yesterday. However, although it's closed in the red, it didn't really close much in the red. I would say like this. Then it still tested it tested this level again. Look at this. I mean, the 13,213 zone. I keep talking about this one. It tested that area nicely and reversed back to the upside. Now, if we take a look at the cash index and where it's currently trading at, let me just quickly have a look at that, guys. We can see that the price is currently at around 13,262 mark. So basically, it's below yesterday's close, but still above this 13,213 mark. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that one, because in a way we could see a further move lower. However, if this upside line drawn from the low of the 13th of November does provide good support, then yep, a nice rebound here could be possible. But if this upside line gets broken and we see the drop below the 13,163 territory right here, marked by the low of this week, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for more sellers, because at the same time, of course, the index would go for a lower low, and it would also be placed below the 21-day EMA. So be very careful on that one. Ftse 100. Now this one, of course, is pushing higher, and not that and I've mentioned this one, guys, yesterday. Basically what I was saying, that keep your eyes on the Ftse, because in a way, although we are seeing a bit of a risk-off environment right now. Not much, of course, but a little bit. But Ftse might remain kind of, let's say, stable. I would even say like that, because of the weakening pound, and the pound is kind of on this lower side a little bit. However, yeah, and you can see that, yeah, it's working out nicely for Ftse. It continues to trade above this upside support line taken from the low of the 30th of October. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a short-term tentative upside line, but nevertheless, I'm going to keep an eye on it. If it continues to trade above it, my next target is the highest point of March near the 6,856 territory. So keep your eyes on that one. In order to consider the downside, I would need to see a break of this upside line and the drop below the 6,464 territory. Now jumping into DXY, and DXY is drifting lower nicely here. So what I was talking about yesterday, guys, and well, actually yeah, yesterday and the day before yesterday, basically, if we get a drop back below the 90.93 territory, it increases the chances of a further move lower. However, if you are a little bit on the cautious side, wait for a violation and a daily close below this 90.59 level, because as you can see, this level here is, and let me just go back into history a little bit, guys. This level right here is the high of the 5th of April. There we go, 5th of April 2018. So this high is somehow still providing decent support for now. But if we get a nice daily close below this, then of course, yep, further declines are possible, and we could start looking at that psychological 90 zone, or even below that. So yeah, guys, we are at a very interesting spot here. This formation is kind of shaping up to be a more bearish one, so we're now testing the key support zone. But as I said, I would like to see that daily candle staying below this area, because I don't want another false breakout here. In terms of the upside, well, as I mentioned before, I need to see a break of this downside line here and a push above the 91.75 territory in order to get a little bit more excited with the upside. Now gold. Gold is stuck here. I would say I'm still neutral in gold right now because at the moment, yeah, in order for me to, let's say, aim for some higher levels again, I would need to see this one pushing back above this 1849 level. This one highlighted here, the upper highlighted area, because again, this area previously did provide good support and then acted as a good resistance. So although we did violate it this week, and in a way, what if we look at the weekly chart, for example, you'll see that we'll just have a nice false breakout above it. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna keep an eye on this one for now. And to be honest, it seems that gold might end up this week somewhere around here, unless something really kind of, let's say, radical, drastic happens, then in terms of news, and then yeah, maybe we could see gold maybe moving out of through one of these levels. So for the downside, as I mentioned to you guys previously, I will take a bit of a cautious approach here, and maybe more of a conservative approach. I'll wait for a drop below this 200-day EMA right here and below this 1800 level, and then I'll consider the downside. Now jumping into WTI oil, finally we're having a nice move here, and the most important is that the commodity remained above this 46.24 level. I talked a lot about this, and what I was saying that not only that we need to see a break, but we also need to see that daily candle remaining above this area. As you can see, we had that, we got that, and yep, now we're seeing a further move, a continuation move higher. Let's see if we can go for a higher high for this week, or if we don't, then of course the commodity might stay somewhere around here until next week. But if it goes higher, my next target is the highest point of March, and yep, that's the highest point of March of this year, and that's roughly around the 48.64 territory. So let's keep an eye on that one, guys. In terms of the downside, I would need to see a drop below the 43.75 territory in order to consider some lower areas. Now jumping into Ripple. Ripple is quite interesting because, well, first of all, I mean, I talked a lot about Ripple this week, and what I was saying, guys, keep your eyes on a potential kind of descending triangle here. Of course, according to all the TA rules, such patterns tend to break to the downside. Yeah, we cannot really jump into anything yet because we need that confirmation break. We have seen descending triangles breaking out to the upside, because maybe they are kind of possibly forming a bullish pennant or something like that, maybe bullish flag. But again, that's why it can be interpreted sometimes differently. So that's why be very careful, and that's why I'm saying here, wait for some confirmation breaks, because here, for example, you can see that this level here, the 0.54 territory, 0.5407, approximately around here, continues to provide decent support, and it coincides with the 21-day EMA. So basically altogether that provides a good hold up here. But if we get a break below this, yes, we'll start aiming for the 0.5050 level, and then yeah, we'll be very careful because again, as you can see, this acted also as a good area of support recently. So so let's say, for example, if we are going short here from this level, then probably, well, have a tight stop loss, guys, just in case, because again, if it drifts lower, tests the 0.5050 territory, and then does the same thing again, reverses back to the upside, then at least you can have a break-even trade here in order not to get stopped out. Well, not to get stopped out in the minus. So again, that's just an idea. You be the judge, guys. You know yourselves better what works well for you. But again, don't get me wrong. I mean, here, for example, it's for now, this area is proving to be quite an important area of support. But if we get a break below this, then my next target is the 0.5050. But if that gets broken, now this is where it could become even more interesting for more sellers. AUD JPY. So I do have a few Australian dollar pairs here to go through, but they're all quite interesting because yesterday we had a nice pop here to the upside. Look at this beautiful move, and most importantly, Yesterday when I talked about AUD JPY, I was telling you guys that keep your eyes on the highest point of August here near the 78.46, because that's going to be my next target. And in the beginning of this week I talked about this, and I was saying that my next target is the 78.46. We managed to reach that perfectly, and most importantly we managed to stay above it. So basically this is the result we're having here. We're having a continuation move further north. Now my next target here above the 78.46 level, of course in my ideal world would be this one right here. Now let me just put this one on the chart. There we go, capture. Yep, managed to capture this one. That's the highest point of April of 2019, and that's roughly around the 80.72 territory. Now, don't get me wrong, on the way higher here, we do have that psychological 80 zone as well. However, for now, probably, guys, be very careful. And the next little target to keep in mind could be right here. Let me just quickly grab this one on the chart. This one right here, the high of the 29th of April of 2019, and that's roughly around the 78.95 territory. So basically not far from that 79 mark, but yep, slightly below it. So the 78.95 territory, that's going to be my next little target here. I want to see how this is going to play out. For now, we're on the right track. So again, I'm not going to drag this one way too much to the upside. I'm just going to aim for that 78.95 territory right here, which is the high of the 29th of April of 2019. So be very careful on that one, guys. Let me just put this arrow right here, and yep, that's what I'm going to be looking at. In terms of the downside here, previously I talked about this level, the 77.10 now, but the further we move north, the higher the level could be, the potential for the potential breakout. So and now basically, of course, we could draw an upside support line right here. It's a tentative one, don't get me wrong. Or we could draw it maybe from somewhere around here just to be a little bit more on the safe side because it's a little bit flatter. Or we could draw it even actually from here. Basically, there's a lot of ways to draw it right now. So they're all tentative, and probably stick to some key support levels and wait for a break of those in order to consider the downside. For now, I'm going to still stick to this 77.10 zone, and then I'll take it from there. I might change this area going into next week, or depending how this is going to play out today, but yeah, for now I'm sticking to this 77.10 zone. AUD NZD, so beautiful move, and everything's working out beautifully here, guys, with the idea, the one that I talked about in the beginning of this week, where I was saying that if we get a further move above this 1.0522 territory, my next target is the 200-day EMA. And to be honest, I think that we're gonna test that, but that's it. This is where I mean, it was a wonderful move, great result. We tested that, or should I say, I'll take that as already as an achievement. So now my question here is, can we actually drift towards this downside line taken from the high of the 18th of August? Well, to be honest, now what I'm going to do is just observe the price action. I'm not going to do much. I'm just going to keep an eye on this level right here, see how it performs. If it pops higher above these two EMAs here, the 200 and the 100-day EMA, then yes, my next target is this downside line. But if it stays somewhere around here, I'll leave it for next week, and I'll see what it can do going into, like I said, going into next week. Now AUD USD, so also beautiful, fantastic move here. I talked about this idea where I was saying that in a way, if at that point in time when I was talking about this one, it was still kind of trading within this rising channel, now it kind of it broke this upper side of the rising channel, so we can get rid of it, and we can keep this upside line here on the chart for now. Basically, we've managed to overcome this 0.7484 territory. So now what I'm looking at here is I'm going to be looking at this level right here. Let me just go into here a little bit. Let me zoom in. That's not this one, but this one right here, the highest point of June of 2018, guys, and that level is near the 0.7676 level. So beautiful, very beautiful number, 0.7676. That's going to be my next target, but don't get me wrong, I mean, it might not travel straight away to that area. It might do a bit of a corrective move here first, and then yep, we could see maybe a test higher. So for now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to see where it's going to get halted. If it gets halted somewhere near the maybe 0.76 territory, okay, great. Then maybe I'll consider a bit of a correction lower, and if that corrects lower, what I'm going to do here is then I'm going to keep an eye on this 0.7484 territory. If it provides good support again, I'll wait for a nice rebound and a push higher again. So keep your eyes on this one. Jumping into USD Cad, quick update, not much to talk about here, but basically everything worked out nicely here as well on USD Cad. So what I said before was that if it reverses here from somewhere, this 1.2826 territory, which is marked by the high of Tuesday, actually the high of Monday, that probably is a much better level here. So the Monday's high near the 1.2833 territory acted as a very nice fine area of resistance this week. So as you can see, this reversed back down, and my next target was this 1.2730, which we've managed to test yesterday. Currently we're stuck here near this area. That level here is the low of the 12th of May, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just, that's the 11th of May of 2018, or in other words, the lowest point of May, basically. The lowest point of May of 2018, that's where we are sitting at right now. I mean, slightly even below it already. So yeah, now it's looking quite interesting here. Of course, ideally, I would prefer to aim for this level after that, the lowest point of April of 2018, and that's roughly around the 1.2527. However, I understand that maybe we already had a decent move to the downside, so that's why I'm gonna keep an eye on this area for now, for today, and probably just want to see where it's gonna end, where this daily candle is gonna end today. Because if it stays below this lowest point of May of 2018, then yep, further declines are possible going into next week. Quick update on Gbpchf. Beautiful move here yesterday. I talked a lot about this level 1.18 zone. We stayed below it yesterday, so yep, today we're seeing a bit of a correction here to the upside. However, it's still getting stuck here near this 1.18. So this 1.18 territory is now providing a decent resistance area, or decent resistance. I mean, we can now see it as an area where the bears could step in and drive this one lower. However, again, what I'm going to do here for now, I'm going to remain cautiously bearish. I'm going to keep an eye on that 1.18 zone. If we push above it, that's fine. Of course, you have great news maybe for the buyers. However, I would probably still remain on the neutral side here. But if it remains below this 1.18 territory, I'm gonna I'm gonna get a little bit more comfortable with the downside. I'm gonna aim for that 1.1723 territory. So let's see how this is gonna play out. But again, like I said, if it climbs above this 1.18 zone, I'm taking a neutral stand, guys, and I'm gonna wait for a better move here. And for me, for the upside, in order to consider the upside, well, let me just grab this one right here. For me to consider the upside, I would need to see maybe a break of this downside line here, and then yep, I could take it from there. Euro TRY, quick update here. I talked about this one yesterday, if you remember, and yep, we managed to get that move above this 9.55 territory. You also managed to have a daily candle staying above it, so yeah, that's great. Further move here towards the 9.6882 level is possible. That's the high of the 11th of November, but if that gets cleared, well, I mean, welcome to a possible move back towards that psychological 10 zone. So let's see how this is going to play out. Quick update on Euro JPY. We managed to stay above the 126.46 level. I talked about this, and now, although we are seeing a bit of a correction here to the downside, again, this could be seen as a correction. So in a way, if it continues to trade above this 126.46 level marked by the high of the 10th of September, that's great news, and we could start aiming for that highest point of September near the 127.07 level. So keep your eyes on this one, guys. But again, it's looking quite bullish still. So yeah, let's see how this is going to play out. If the rate continues to trade above the 126.46 territory, I'll continue targeting that highest point for that highest point of September. And finally, EURUSD. So EURUSD is pushing also to the upside. Yesterday we had a nice reversal here to the upside. Great news. Yeah, now we're testing this 1.2155 territory. So let's see where this daily candle is going to end today, because in a way everything's leaning a little bit more towards the upside here. So if we do get that daily candle staying above this area, above this 1.2155 zone, then yes, wonderful. Great news for more buyers and going into next week, and we could maybe then start looking at some much higher areas here. So again, for now, be very careful on this one. In terms of the downside, well, we would need to see a break of this upside line taken from the low of the 4th of November, and then we could consider this a move lower. But at the moment, anything, even if it reverses back down but fails to break this upside line, well, this could be seen as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. However, at the moment, we are already pushing higher, and keep your eyes on DXY as well, because if that starts rolling over much lower here, then yep, it could benefit nicely this this pair right here, Euro USD. And then yeah, we'll aim for that 1.2215 level. I talked about that previously, guys. So, and that level is, let me just go back into history here a little bit. That level is the low of the 6th of April, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 6th is going to be 6th of 1.2215. Let me just grab this one. Low. Okay, guys. I mean, that's one of the lows here in April. 1.22. Yes, the 5th of April, if I'm not mistaken here. Yep. So yeah, basically that's from April of there we go, the low 6th of April 2018, guys. So keep your eyes on that one, guys, and yeah, let's see how this is going to play out today. So I'll have to wrap it up here very quickly. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found it useful, guys. I really hope so. If you want to catch my video later on, my trader's tea time, 14:15 GMT. But for now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much.